Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This one is all about the tier 3 cruiser in the American line, the St. Louis. Now this video is going to be a sort of light review and mainly gameplay. This ship is outstanding for its class. It is just covered in guns. It can pump out so many shells, it's hard not to hit your opponent and deal lots of damage. It is also quite tough. Its only downside is it's pretty slow, but if you're at maximum range, it still can, although it's hard to do so, dodge incoming shells. So let's now get into the first bit of footage, which should be appearing any second now. Yep, here we go. This is the first game I had after deciding to make this video. So the two battles I'm going to show you are the first one and the second one I had after deciding to make this video. So it's not me cream of the crop or anything. These are two pretty average games for me in the St. Louis. At the end I'm going to show you some screenshots of one of the best games I've had in the St. Louis, and that is quite a lot better. So here's a quick view of the teams. Typical game that you'll get into in the St. Louis, you normally tend to be the upper tier, I've noticed, in the St. Louis. But not that you're caring much, because you can handle larger tier ships pretty easily. Moving on, because we're slow ship, fast forwarding to when the action starts. Obviously starting to see a destroyer, St. Louis, you definitely want to be aiming at that destroyer. So start pumping some shells into him. Using heat, of course, because we're firing at a destroyer. And here we go. He's nearly gone. He's run aground. Bam bam bam. Set him on fire. Fire again. He's gone. We got the kill. Felt a wee bit dirty with that kill because someone else did most of the damage with torpedoes, but I didn't want that destroyer there firing torpedoes at me, so I got rid of them ASAP. So turn around, bringing all my guns to bear on the enemies coming down this line now. This is where you really get to start seeing just how much firepower the St. Louis has, because you can see down the bottom of the wee diagram of the ship, it's basically all guns. Around, slowness of this ship does hurt at times, though. You can see it's taking quite a while to get prepared to fire. Comes into view, blam. Quite a large amount of guns. Start raking up those hits. There we go, start speeding things up a bit now, as there's a lot of gameplay to get through, and to keep it fresh, keep things interesting happening. We're in a slow ship, even though we're pumping out a lot of shells. You can see the really fast rate of fire we just had there at that enemy cruiser. Now here we see another destroyer. Pump shells, start pumping shells. Just spew those shells at the enemy. That's what this ship is good at. In fact, it is absolutely astounding at. And chalk, another kill for me. And that 2 times speed enemy destroyer has been blown up is just... that was just hysterical. So we're just going again. What we're doing, we're pumping shells like always. That's really all you needed to do in the St. Louis. Is that, ooh, that is a lot of ships. So here I decide, right, I'm too far forward, I need to pull back, and I need to get support from my allies, and I need to support them. So we turn around, bring the other guns on the other side to bear. Don't need to worry about turrets turning, because the St. Louis has just got just as many guns on the other side. We are taking quite a bit of damage now though. But luckily, the St. Louis is strong enough to withstand a lot of punishment. So, we may be slow, but we can dish it out and we can take it. Finally we get behind some rocks, keep ourselves safe, and we have the support of the rest of our team again. And we spot another destroyer. So what are we supposed to do when we see destroyers in the St. Louis, people? Fire. Heat shell after heat shell after heat shell at them. Just churn those shells out. That is what you're supposed to do when you're in the St. Louis and you see a destroyer. Doubly, no, even triply so, if your allies around you are battleships, because a battleship can't really be affording to waste time firing at a destroyer, especially when there's more prime targets he could be shooting his shots at and getting citadel penetrations on. It's really a cruiser's job to take out any destroyers nearby. You see he's giving up smoke, so I'm just, no other targets, pump shells into the smoke. I have gotten a few lucky kills when I can't see them and I'm just firing into the smoke. Most people will just instantly give up and stop firing. There's no downside to doing this, and you might get lucky, so why not? Still waiting for him. Oh, there he is, he's emerged out of the fog, so start pumping shells into him. Critical hit. Missed him completely, got like quite lucky there. Got some more hits. Some people say you should do it in little like barrage fire. Well, I'm doing like one big huge broadside fire, but a lot of people say you should do it as like trickle, like one gun at a time when shooting a destroyer, but I found it's actually easier just to do the full lot at once. Surely comes down to what you find easier. Some people use it to like help aim, but here we go. Couple of battleships. Oh god, not a good time. I'm gonna have to try and retreat here. Pump lots of shells at him and try and weave and dodge his fire. St. Louis is not really that great at weaving and dodging fire, but extreme range you can do it to a small extent. And that 2 times speed narrator, it's never going to get old for me. I just find it hysterical. I just imagine Mickey Mouse on my ship just like shouting. I'm trying to weave and dodge here, and that is probably going to be my undoing because I'm not paying attention to where I'm weaving and dodging. I still think I'm roughly in the middle of these islands, and any second now. Ooh, I'm taking a lot of damage. Yep, there's the island icon. Oh crap, there's an island in front of me. Try and turn to get out of it. Nope. Marooned. Here comes the death. I'd probably have died anyway. I didn't have much hope of escaping. Next, no health at all. Really lucky I'm alive at this point. Just enough time to get another couple of shells out. So let's hope I've done enough. Here I start looking around, looking at the other ships and seeing how they're all doing. That battleship was looking quite boring. This guy is going incredibly slow. Doesn't look that interesting to watch. Then I get to this guy. Looks like this guy had a good game, at least from when I started watching him, right up until he makes one disastrous mistake that sees him dead, but he does enough to take our team to the victory. Oops, spoilers, sorry folks. He is also a Japanese cruiser, which means torpedoes. The only American line ones that have torpedoes are the Omaha and is it the New Orleans that comes after the Omaha? I'm not sure that. I'm getting a wee bit rusty on my names. I've not been paying attention to them in a while, so I apologise if that's wrong, folks. And Japanese torpedo, a Japanese cruiser turns its butt to your opponent. What does that mean? That's what it means. Torpedoes. I don't think these torpedoes are even needed. I'm pretty sure the guns take the kill. That just leaves one enemy ship. Now at this point I'm extremely confident going, my team's got it in the bag. This guy seems to be doing quite good. He's trying to weave, he's trying to dodge, he's making a lot of good moves. He's coming up and around here. Looks like he's going to try and get another torpedo. Load the torpedoes away. Yep, there we go, there's the torpedoes. Now he's going to come up, try and flank. Oh, I'm jumping around, just seeing what everyone else is up to. It's because this guy is getting closing on the enemy. So see if we can get the action, see if we can get him to, but he's stopping again, which I'm rather confused about. Why are you hiding? Go back to this guy. Really big, nasty hit there. He starts trying to turn and... Who put that island there? That really just sealed his fate. He gets a few more shells off and bam, he is dead. So I was like, well, start looking around. Look at this big battleship. Now, at this point, I was starting to get a creeping suspicion that we might lose. I was like, oh no. The two players aren't really doing much to help each other. The battleship's just sort of trying to stay as far away as possible and fire. And this guy looks like he might not last much longer, so I was like, really, uh-oh. See if we lose. But no. Then we won. Whew. We won. And this is an almost completely average game for me in the St. Louis. Pretty much just like the next one you're going to see in a second. We came top of our team quite a bit. We did quite a lot of damage, we got quite a few sinks. We got one medal, first blood, but that medal's more about luck than skill. But it's still nice to get. We did quite a lot of damage to a lot of the enemy. So I wouldn't say we carried that game, but we came pretty close to it. Here we are, this is the second game I had in this St. Louis ship after deciding to do this video. So as I said before, I'm not choosing the cream of the crop, this is just the next two I had. And it's pretty similar to the last game. I even start in a very similar location. Jumping ahead to when the action starts, and again it looks really similar. A battleship, a destroyer, different place, but still starting off by shooting at a destroyer. And we shall jump up to 2 times the speed again, as once again we're just, what have I said 100 times? What do we do in the St. Louis? We spew out shells. Dodge those torpedoes, wasn't that hard, I didn't need to do much, just needed to make sure I didn't turn. See the destroyer again, so we go after the destroyer, that's what our team needs. And he runs aground, so yes, perfect. He's all mine. Okay, he's surviving quite well. He's still alive. He's being quite lucky. There we go, finally. That took longer than it should have. He got quite lucky there. And my shells were landing around him mainly. See another destroyer, but he's disappeared. And I've got better targets to shoot at than hoping to hit him. Right, now here I'm aiming too high. I know about the plunging fire, so I'm making good use of being able to shoot around it. Oh, torpedoes, torpedoes, torpedoes. Just one. That was lucky. And here I see quite a lot of enemy ships. I'm looking around. Yep, I've got enough room to turn. So start turning, trying to get away from that huge blob of enemy ships. And I'm still just spewing as many shells as I can into them. But I need to pull back. Look at that, that's like 4 on 2 or 3. It's hard to tell when the map is smaller because I'm looking at a little tiny screen as I record this narration. Go after the destroyer. What have I told you? Always do it. Come round, start shooting at another target. Really, if you're in the middle of a big battle, your guns in the St. Louis should never be not firing. You got a fast rotation speed, not that you even really need it. Well, fast enough rotation speed for when you don't really need it. And just coming around the side of this mountain, waiting to get a few good shots. And we must have set someone on fire because we sunk them at some point. Is it just me, or is that music at 2 times the speed and the voice just trippy? It's definitely something. Getting plunging fire, but as again, I've got a bad habit of when I'm firing around a hill like this, I fire too high. I don't take into account how much higher that icon is, and you see I'm starting to lower my shots because I can tell they're all missing because of that, and I've wasted that whole time. Find a new target and start pumping shots over here. The moral of this part of the video is don't underestimate how much lower this ship is than the icon when you're using plunging fire to hit your enemy. Here we go, start firing more and more shots into the enemy. St. Louis, that is the key. Fire, shots, just spew it out. Like, most of the time I've just been using heat. And then the St. Louis, that's all you really need to use. You can use AP to get some really beautiful citadel penetrations in the St. Louis, but you need to know what you're doing, and I've not played enough against some of these ships to know which ones I'll penetrate, which ones I won't. So heat is a good, just sort of spew it out. When in doubt, use heat. That is a good way to think of it. Just spewing out lots of shells again into my opponents. Just keep that rate of fire up. Don't ever let your guns not firing. One thing I do as well that's quite bad is I don't look where I'm going enough. Like you see here, I'm going back to check where I am, but I don't do that often enough. You should do it really once every second time you fire, but I've got a bad habit of just staying zoomed in, firing shell after shell, especially in something like a St. Louis when you're firing shells so often. Gone behind the mountain, that's not going to save you yet. You're not deep enough in there. I can still shoot plunging fire at you, but you're gone now, so let's go after your buddy. And it's cute, you've taken out one of my guns. Doesn't even really decrease my firepower that much. Got that many guns, I don't care. Oh, and he's come to the edge of the map, and so he's needing to turn. That is a common mistake lots of people make. Now there's just the one ship left on the enemy side. He's gonna get an untimely demise. Try and see if I can get some plunging shots into him, but again I'm aiming too high as always. And now that he's around the other side of that hill, we can start getting more shots into him. And Confederate! Just before the game ends we got the Confederate medal. Much harder to get in World of Warships than it is in World of Tanks. And that is another victory. That is the second game I played in a row just after that. Once again, oh no, this time we came second top in our team. And but still, quite a good game. But it's hard not to have a good game in this ship. But it's still nowhere near the best game I've had in this ship. Like, I've had games in this ship where I've landed like 300 shells on the enemy. So here is a screenshot of one of my better games. As you can see, we did quite a lot of damage onto quite a number of ships. We came the top of our team with quite a lot of experience, and by quite a long way. And we didn't get that many kills, but that was mainly because my kills were stolen by my teammates. So there we go. Hope you've all enjoyed this. See you all next time.